The rise and fall of former New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was born May 27th, 1997 in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he was a two-star recruit out of Charlotte Latin High School. He was doing his thing. He passed for 6,997 yards his time in high school. He ended up having 98 total touchdowns and 8,344 total yards during this time in high school. Which you would have thought he would have been a big-time recruit. Nah, he wasn't. He had some interest in some Ivy League schools, and that's the route he thought he was going to take until his coach called up David Cutcliffe and was like, hey, do me a favor. Look at him and tell me what you think about him. And when he saw that film, he was like, oh, you got you somebody right here. What you gonna do? Don't tell nobody else about him. I can't sign him because we ain't got a scholarship. But let him come here as a walk-on and he'll have a chance. And that's exactly what Daniel Jones did. He walked on at Duke University, where he redshirted his first year in 2015. Then as a sophomore, he got his chance. Started 12 games. Out of 430 passes, he completed 270 of them. 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He threw for 2,836 yards. As a junior in 2017, out of 453 passes, he completed 257. He threw for 2,691 yards, 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He did all of that in 13 games. Then as a senior or redshirt junior, however you want to look at it, 392 pass attempts. He completed 237 passes. He threw for 2,674 yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and he did that in 11 games. Jones was like, you know what? It's time to go to the NFL. And that's exactly what he did. He was selected number 6 overall in the 2019 NFL draft. Signed himself a 4-year, $25 million contract with the New York Giants. 2019 rookie season. Played 13 games, threw 459 passes, completed 284 for 3,027 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. In my opinion, this was his best season as a pro. And then in 2020, we got to give a shout out to him for that 80-yard run. Then he tripped over his own feet, but it was still 80 yards. And in 14 games that season, he threw 448 passes, completed 280 of them, threw for 2,943 yards, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. In 2021, Jones, he threw a career-high 402 yards against the Saints. Then in Week 12, suffered a season-ending injury. He played 11 games. He threw 361 passes, completed 232 for 2,428 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. In 2022, the Giants declined the 5th-year option of Daniel Jones. He went ahead and was balling, y'all. Out of 472 passes, he completed 317 of them for 3,205 yards. He threw 15 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He also ran the ball 120 times for 708 yards and 7 touchdowns. He played in all 16 games, leading the New York Giants to a 9-6-1 record, and they made it to the playoffs. for the first time since 2016. And in the playoffs, they beat the Vikings 31-24. That was the first playoff win for the Giants since 2011. And then the next week, they played the Philadelphia Eagles, where they ended up losing 38-7. The Giants saw enough good things out of Daniel Jones because in 2023, they went ahead and signed him to a 4-year, $160 million extension. Unfortunately for him and the Giants, things just didn't go right. He suffered a season-ending ACL injury to his right knee. He also had neck issues throughout the season. He only played in 6 games, and the team went 1-5 in those 6 games. He only threw 160 passes. He completed 108 of them for 909 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Things just didn't go right for the New York Giants or Daniel Jones. 2024, the year of the comeback. At least that's what we were hoping. It just didn't turn out good returning from the injury as the Giants and Daniel Jones both struggled. Daniel Jones threw 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions for 2,070 yards in 10 games, but the record for the Giants during that time span was 2-8. They just couldn't get things going. They decided to bench him, and then on November the 22nd, they decided to release Daniel Jones.